Shopee doesn't have anything I like. Let's try Mercado Libre.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? My package is 6 days late. Even with free delivery, this is not worth it.
Why doesn't Shopee have any of my local brands?
Would you shop from a company with all of these issues? This is what's bringing us down. Before diving into our 3 sub-issues, let's take a look at Shopee's global expansion strategies and the main issues which we face. As you can see, Shopee expanded their geographic footprint too quickly without considering local competition, strategic expansion, and at a high operational cost. Our expansion without considering economies of scale, the supply chain, available resources for sourcing, our unaligned local preferences, etc. are only a few reasons for this. Afia, give us a problem breakdown.
Well, within our expansion strategy, we face some key issues. Firstly, Shopee's lack of localization. Shopee needs to adapt its services to the cultural and social preferences of markets outside Southeast Asia. We need to tailor for intricacies such as user interface and subtleties of language. And lastly, we need to do our research to limit regulatory challenges in new markets.
Secondly, our distribution costs. At the moment, we aren't charging things like a delivery fee or seller's commission in order to gain popularity in new markets, which leads to heightened distribution costs. Also, we're facing significant delays in last mile delivery and rise in warehouse costs due to our expansion into distant markets.
The e-commerce industry has intense competition. Market entry is challenging with well-established global and local players. The market is also highly saturated and thus Shopee tries aggressively low prices, leading to big losses.
To combat the issues of a lack of localization as well as intense competition, I propose strategic outward expansion. This would occur in 2 regions. Region 1 being our prominent market in Southeast Asia, and Region 2 being our market in Brazil. For this expansion to be strategic, it would have to be conducted in phases. Phase 1 would have easy access based on our current successes, and the limited areas ensure growth is planned sustainably without adding to overheads, with the existing cross-border trade in Region 2 being a great strength. For Phase 2, it would occur during years 4 to year 7, and we should plan the entry into the mature e-commerce markets, where infrastructure would have to be set up. For Phase 3, which would occur during years 7 to years 10, we would expand into the frontrunners in the e-commerce space. Both Phase 2 and Phase 3 would come at the cost of large investments, and these are mature markets with a high penetration of e-commerce business.
I hear what you're saying, but in phase 1, wouldn't there be a lack of existing e-commerce infrastructure in our chosen regions?
Though that is true, we can leverage off the existing structure in C. Plus, there's high growth potential in Region 2 with mature markets like Mexico.
Alright, but what about competition from already existing e-commerce players in phase 2?
Yes, however, we can utilize the Free Fire launch in India in partnership with Hiranandani. Plus, there's a high growth rate of e-commerce in India and Argentina.
Eva, this sounds great, but for it to work, some risks need to be mitigated. To handle contrasting customer tastes in South and Latin America, we should carry out in-depth market research and collaborate with legal counsel to make sure that we adhere to region-specific regulation. Moving on, a solution to our heightened distribution expenses would be to acquire an external logistics company. Right now, we're sitting on $9 billion in cash reserves. This is where Carrier Logistics Limited comes in. We're facing poor customer experience, late arrivals, and last-mile delivery charges. Carrier Logistics Limited is the #1 brand in logistics in Thailand and has the highest on-time delivery rate and the lowest return rate of 1.5%. This will not only show progress and attract investors, but it will prevent Shopee from losing even more money. Additionally, we can start charging delivery fees and seller commission to optimize our revenue.
I like this, but how do we propose to tackle challenges like consumer or supply chain disruptions that are caused by this acquisition?
Supply chain disruptions can be mitigated by diversifying suppliers and implementing contingency plans, while consumer disruptions will be managed through effective and clear communication.
Alright, but how does this fit into our long-term plans?
Through Shopee's 10-year future. In the short term, we start by acquiring KLN, capitalizing on our property digital entertainment sector and target advertisement. In the midterm, we address investor concerns, ensure high synergy with KLN, and enhance our cybersecurity systems. In the long term, we implement a subscription plan and augmented reality. By 2033, through our solutions, Shopee will have an expected turnover of $77 billion.
Wow, everyone, this is truly a lovely plan. I mean, it perfectly incorporates the country-specific phasing expansion for both regions, as you can see here. Great work, everyone, today. Meeting adjourned. By the way, donuts in the break room.
Yeah.